Hollowell back with Get Your Mind Right. Woo, woo, woo. Sponsored by the Power of One. Okay, here on our network. And today, if you don't know, it's basically what the show is about. It's about overall wellness and health of self and basically having open-minded conversations that you usually don't get to have on your day-to-day base. Basically, my three topics are physical health, mental health, and double standards. And today we are doing double standards. And introduce yourself, you guys. We have guests today.
Hi, I'm Ari. You can follow me at Ari Safari, and that's Ari, ARIE, .safari, ending with an IE. And
what do you tell them what you do?
Geez, I do a lot of things. I'm a permaculture designer. I currently work in the resort and hospitality business, and I'm also a part-time model.
Okay.
What camera are you looking at?
I know.
No.
I think this one's my camera.
Cool.
Right here. All right, Elijah, go. Introduce yourself.
How you doing? Young activist. Nice to meet you guys. You know what I'm saying? It's a beautiful day to be on this show. Do multiple different things, run a marketing company. I also got a show on here called TMI, The Money Initiative. Make sure y'all check that out tomorrow, Wednesday at 4 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Had to plug myself real fast. And then other than that, I'm happy to be on the show.
For sure. And that's what we're here for also, you know what I mean? It's for you guys to answer questions, but it's also for you guys to be able to come online and tell the world what you do and explain who you are and stuff like that and get recognition and stuff. So, you guys excited?
I'm ready to be, yeah. We're going to be on some cancel culture stuff today.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
No, I will have to put a disclaimer for one of the questions, but it's not super crazy, but it can get touchy. But let's get started. Okay, so question 1. Why aren't women taken more serious in masculine jobs/roles?
Ladies first.
Wow, that's a good question.
Give me some on the black side. Hold up.
Okay.
I feel like it has a lot to do with just how society portrays us. Not to mention just our physical limits.
Right.
Like, I worked at Chick-fil-A for a really long time, and it was actually a very physically demanding job. And I started out in the kitchen, and I remember my first time lifting a fucking, like, ketchup box or a box of, like, fries.
They're heavy. I work
It
in
was
restaurant
so
business. They're
heavy. Or my first time pouring lemonade, I, like, poured the whole thing on myself. I literally, as I went to pour the lemonade, the whole thing flipped back on me, and I was, like, drenched at work. And so a lot of the guys at work were like, oh, let me help you with this, you know, because they saw that I embarrassed myself a lot trying to lift a lot of heavy things. So I feel like it just comes from them observing that women either struggle or just society telling men that, oh, because women struggle with this, you have to help them.
Okay.
Do you like the help?
Sometimes, like, if I ask for help, then I like the help. If I don't ask for help, then it's like, why?
Yeah.
But see, look, that's even that interesting that you say that. And you know me, I like to pull up and do my own little resources and search up for sources and stuff like that. But on APA.org, this article, basically, the successful women were characterized as more selfish, manipulative, untrustworthy. Just basically, you're like your typical bitch. You know what I mean? So that's interesting that you kind of brought that up. You know what I mean? Where you're like kind of stubborn about the help in a way. You know what I mean? But that can also be portrayed negatively if you're like, no, I don't want the help, then they're like, why are you acting like that? Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just, I don't know, Elijah, what would you have to say?
Man, I remember when I was young, right? So there was times where I was in elementary school, and they would be like, we would like do like musical chairs or something, and they'd be like, all right, boys.
All the boys pick up the chairs. No, I remember that announcement. I just wanted to pick them up.
So then I would pick up the chairs, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm strong. Look at me, ladies. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the man. Yeah, teacher, look at me. I'm the man. And so there's a sense of like machismo, masculinity that comes with men being strong. It gives them a sense of protection. And I think that like it's innate within men culture, you know, growing up. We just like feeling like we have the ability to do it. And there's an expectation the older you get. Like, for example, like anytime I go to my mom's house, married with a husband who's completely capable, can you go get something for me real fast? Hey, can you pick this up? I could come on a random day, a random Thursday. She'll always ask me to pick something up for her because there's an expectation with man's strength.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I definitely, there's for sure a standard on that too. Cause like, you know, I have sisters. She never asked them. Even when I was growing up, it's always me picking up the heavy stuff.
See,
the groceries.
See, I grew up in a woman family. I grew up with like, so it's me, my mom, and my sister. So it's just was interesting. So I feel like my sister and my mom, I feel like, are a little bit more feminine than I am. I feel like my sister, she did kind of take on a masculine role, but I feel like I took on it a little bit more. Like, my mom kind of like calls me to like set up like the Wi-Fi box and like the cable and stuff. Like, I built all 3 of our beds in the house. So it's like, so like that masculine role / like job mentality of like physicality and stuff like that. It's just, I definitely understand that because I feel like even on like the last episode we talked about the difference between men and women physically. Like, men have 50% more muscle and body mass in terms of physicality and stuff like that. So in terms of men doing stuff, I definitely understand why we would turn to the man essentially. But I'm like, dude, I hit pretty hard. I mean, like, my arms just look crazy. So I don't know. It's just, I guess it's just how you go about life, or just how you're raised essentially, or like what you're exposed to, you know what I mean? So
because I feel like a lot of my older years, like growing up, my parents were married, but I wasn't raised by my parents. I was raised by a lot of my aunts, and pretty much all my aunts are single. So I was raised by a single woman, and there was only one boy in the household, but he was always older. So by the time that I was older, he was out of the house, and so a lot of my family members are older, so they're like, oh, my knees hurt, my back hurt, can you do this for me? So I feel like I spent a lot of my time like doing masculine roles, you know, like whenever the sink was busted, my aunt was like, you can be a plumber, go
Right,
Google
you got
it, pull it up on YouTube and fix the sink. And I'm like, oh geez, okay. So, you know, like I was literally there painting houses. Like I literally painted every wall in my aunt's house, you know. I've painted her patio. I've had to fix lights and stuff like that. So I feel like it really just depends on how you're raised, because I feel like I was raised by a lot of single women who had to do things on their own, that they're like, you need to know how to do this on your own, because this might even be your future, you know, like you may just end up a single woman.
Well, that's kind of,
like, you know,
that's
like,
a
you
stretch,
really
Ari. That's
really
a
don't know.
stretch. It's just more of the, I feel like it's more on just the independent side of not just being a naive little girl out there in the world always asking people for help. Essentially, just knowing that you can handle that stuff as a woman in the real world, you know? So just, not that you'll be able to, like,
hey, them generational curses. Them generational curses, man.
No, them generational curses
they be strong.
A joke.
Like,
they do.
Yeah. No, I definitely think that, I think out of necessity, for sure, you have to be able to take care of yourself. But I do believe if there is a man available,
he's gonna do it.
There's an expectation.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you've been in a relationship before, haven't you?
No.
Never been in a relationship.
No.
Never talked to a guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so if y'all driving
it's still
together,
a form of a relationship.
if you're driving
it's a
together,
situationship.
A situationship.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all live together, you know what I'm saying? You see a mouse crawl across the room. You gonna want the man to take care of that.
In my family, my mom always handled that.
But what would you? But what would you? I'm saying, out of necessity
out of your
versus
personal
desire.
bias.
Necessity versus desire. What would you want in that circumstance?
I think I would actually want to handle it.
Really?
Yeah, just from like seeing my own mom handle it,
Okay.
because like she wouldn't kill mice. Like
Oh, she
we're
just let them out?
animal lovers.
Okay, she
yeah,
just let them
so
out.
we'll like trap them in a little box and let them outside.
What about-
Unfortunately, our dogs did catch rats, so like outside it's fair game, you know.
Okay.
but-
So the dogs are taking care of it.
yeah.
What about bugs?
I'll do it. The bugs are a little bit
bugs,
easier to handle.
That's their house. I'll leave the whole house. Like.
So if a man seen that, right, and he was with a man, and he was like, no bugs, how would you see that? How would you portray that?
I'd be kind of salty because like we can't both be afraid of bugs. Like,
So
you know,
he has
like,
to hold the courage to make sure he's protecting the circumstance.
yeah, but then I'd probably do it if he can't do it. Like,
Okay.
But
because
how would
I've
you-
done it at home. You know, I had to do it on my own. So if he can't do it, I'm gonna do it regardless.
It's gonna get handled
Right.
whether or
Exactly.
not.
But would
you're
you
gonna
want him to do it though?
Yeah, I'd probably ask him to do it. I'm
Okay.
like, dude, kill that spider. And if he's like, no, then
that
I'm
was
like,
the real question though. Would you want him to do it?
yeah, I
you
would
know?
want him to do
Yeah.
it. Definitely.
You would want him to, right?
Mhm.
Why?
Because I'm scared. I don't want to get near it. Like,
So it's a
bug.
protection thing. You wanted to protect you.
Yeah, but I would do it with if anyone else was in the room. Like, if it was my mom, I would be like, can you kill that? You know, like, it just...
But this is
I prefer
specifically
not do
your
it.
partner who is a male in this scenario.
Let's say the mom is there and there's a strong, capable man. Who would you call on to do it?
It would probably be the man. It would probably be the man.
I was like, let's just.
And there's your answer, folks.
That's why I'm like, we could utilize that.
Literally. Alrighty. Question 2. Okay, disclaimer. I am not, okay? I'm not a homophobe or anything. This has nothing to do with, in regards to my, like, I'm not a hater of the gay community, okay? LGBTQ rights plus all the way. But this is just a question that I've thought of, and it's just very interesting. This is just stuff that personally that I've seen. But do you think that you get more opportunities if you were gay than Black or African American, essentially?
Please, let me hear this.
If you're gay or Black?
No, if like, so obviously you can be Black and
Yes.
gay, but I'm just saying, would you get more opportunities if you were gay than if you were an African American, essentially? I didn't know how to word it in the proper way.
Okay, I would say...
Like, do you see a pattern with...
I would say yes.
Okay.
Simply because,
Why?
okay, growing up, when I first moved to America, to be fair, I thought racism was over. In Jamaica, you know, there's no one there that are blatantly racist. It's more colorism, you know, or ignorance.
Okay.
But it's no one straight up just being racist. And so when I came here, it was very like, oh my gosh.
In your face.
And I'll never forget, the one thing that was so in my face was having this boy look at me and he said, my girlfriend is afraid of black people. You guys scare her.
Lord have mercy.
And I was like, what do you mean that she's scared of black people? And he was like, I don't know, like she's afraid of you guys. And I was like, what about me is so intimidating?
Right.
Like, is it the color of my skin? Are you afraid that you're gonna be as black as me one day?
Right.
Like, what is so intimidating about black that makes you scared, you know? So I feel like naturally people are afraid of black people for some odd reason. And so I feel like it's very hard in America to make it as a black person because we already have this stigma that we're dangerous to everyone else.
Right.
Versus when it comes to being in the LGBTQ community, it's more of hatred when it comes to do with religion. It comes from a religious aspect versus being hated because you're black is just people are naturally ugly on the inside. And for some odd reason, black people are the race that they choose to spread that hate with. And so I don't know, I feel like it... Yeah.
No, but it's interesting that you even kind of brought, like, that up because it's kind of, like, backplace on what I do. So, like, source, HBR.org, corporations have made great progress over the past decade creating more welcoming environments for LGBTQ plus employees, have protection policies that address sexual orientation up from 51% in 2000. Nonetheless, surveys show that many LGBTQ plus employees as a hindrance on the job, they still view their sexuality as like a hindrance, you know what I mean? So they kind of like remain closeted, you know what I mean? So they can show up to the job and not even say what, you know, and that's fine, you know what I mean? Nobody's going around saying their sexual orientation, you don't have to, but being a black person, you can't hide that. You know what I mean? You can't hide the color of your skin. You walk into that boardroom or that interview, that's the first thing that they see. You know what I mean?
You're very right.
So it's like, how do we maneuver this? I don't know. What do you guys have to say?
I think you're very correct in that sense because even when it comes to me, like even just my name, when I've applied to jobs and when they read Ariana Fung on paper, they think, oh, this is going to be an Asian girl, you know? Like, they read the last name Fung and they're like, oh, cool. And I walk in and they're like,
it's a black woman.
Sometimes they're very surprised. They're like, oh, your name isn't the name that this is usually associated with.
Right.
And I feel like even just with my name is the reason why I'm even able to get a lot of the interviews that I do, because I feel like if my name was any blacker than it was, just my first name being spelled wrong because my mom decided to.
I feel like people try to butcher my name due to the fact that I am a black person. They try to make it super crazy
like,
due to the fact...
Can you give an example, please?
Gabrielle Holloway. And it's nowhere near close to my name. There's no A at the end, and I don't know where you got the A and the W because it's WELL. So I don't know where you got the rest of that. They be like they be switching it all around, and I'm like,
the L silent, girl.
Yeah, literally, like they try to like butcher my name because they can't believe that I have a basic, I guess, quote unquote American name. They're just like, it doesn't process. It's like error, like you know what I mean?
Right, for sure. Okay, on me. All right, so basically, you know, my personal opinion is that, like I agree 100%. You can hide being gay, but you cannot hide being black. It's just a fact. Observationally, you can see someone is clearly black. And also there's certain things socially that I do believe that can hinder certain things involved with black oppression that we go through with white supremacy. For example, like somebody can bring on a white gay person on their crowd and be like, we help marginalized groups as a tokenism, and then avoid black, black people off of the aspect of them being black, and you don't want to work with black people. I'm sure there's white people, especially living in Colorado. Y'all lived here.
Yeah.
We live in a very liberal city. There's people who will be pro-gay before they'll be pro-black.
Yep.
For sure. I can guarantee, I could put my paycheck. It's a fact. You know what I'm saying? And the whole thing is because you can be white and gay. Yeah. You can't be white and black. So that's just the fact.
You have a very valid point.
Dark white.
You can be. So the whole thing is they'd rather be like, okay, well, nigger or a homosexual. Come on, honky, come on this side of the. You know what I'm saying? Like. And that's the difference. And they can hide that as well. They can be able to code switch between two, and because they still hold white supremacy privilege.
Right. And that's just kind of to back play off of what you said, kind of essentially still the sources that I'm using, you know what I mean? However, African American workers still face more hurdles to get a job, never mind a good one than other people. You know what I mean? Due to the fact that we already have this discriminatory or this stereotype put onto us before we even start talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
I think one thing that surprised me when I first came to Colorado, it was one of my first job interviews, and I remember I was talking with this guy and the interview was going great, and he literally stopped and he looks at me and he looks so amazed and he goes, "Oh my gosh, you talk so eloquently and your diction is amazing and you really know how to enunciate your words." And then he goes, "Do you know what that means?"
Microaggressions.
And I kind of looked at him and I'm like, "Did you not see that bachelor degree on my resume? Did you miss that whole part where I went to a whole university?
Out the door.
Not a community college. I went to a university. Not that there's anything wrong with community college.
No, I go to a trade school.
But I'm just saying, it's the fact that he skipped over all that. I'm even certified to teach English as a foreign language. That's on my resume. And the fact that he skipped over all that and looks at me in the eyes and goes, "Oh my gosh, you really know how to use words. Do you even know what all those words mean?" And then he was also half white and Asian, and he tried to really bond with me with the whole minority thing, in the sense where he's like, "I can't imagine how hard being in America is, being a whole minority." Oh, yeah. Did you hear what you just said to me?
Literally.
Before that whole, no, dude, we're not even in the same ballpark right now, because already you're assuming that I'm not even educated enough to be sitting in front of you.
Yeah.
So, I think definitely as a black person, you already have these stereotypes off the bat. Yeah.
Society, especially modern society in cities like Colorado where it's Democrat. Plus, if you're a blue state, you're gonna be more accepted for being a part of the LGBTQ community before being black. It's just a fact. Because the whole thing is everybody in the city is already in support of it due to their voting ballots. Right. You can see it through their political bias. But see, the thing is it's two wings to the same bird. At the end of the day, it's white supremacy on the blue side or the red side. And you being a black person, you're the enemy of it. You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter what it is. They'll still hate you. That's why you can experience racism by a gay person. You can't. You can.
You can.
You can. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's happened.
Of course. You know what I'm saying? I grew up poor like you. I grew up, I understand. I've been marginalized as well. People have discriminated, bro.
But it's yes, we're both minorities in a sense, but at the same time, we can't hide the fact that we're black, or we can't just one day up and just change who we are, you know what I mean? We literally have to live with this skin, with this face,
for the rest of your
body
life.
For the rest of my life, you know? And even when I was searching up the questions, I used the same question, but I just switched the ending, so I basically just put, what did I put? Do you receive more opportunities, ... if you're black or gay? Literally got two different answers.
Yeah, I think especially being in the political field, you gain an entire crowd when you come out. If you come out gay, bro,
Yes.
Man.
I also have a question. Do you think Lil Nas X would have been famous if he didn't come out as gay?
No.
I think he would have been a one-hit wonder.
Okay, I think so too.
I think he would have had one solid hit, would have been the Old Town Road, and then everybody would have been
would have moved on. Because that's how social media works.
Yep.
Because when it comes to entertainers, you have to remember there's no such thing as bad publicity. So they will always come
there.
with information that has a shock factor,
Mm.
regardless of if it's bad or good.
Right.
So I feel like if he didn't do what he did, he probably wouldn't have been as known, because him coming out as not only a black country singer,
Right.
but a black gay country singer
Right.
was such a big shock factor that it got the media to talk about him.
Okay.
And if the media won't talk about you, you will not make it as an entertainer. And we see this with a lot of entertainers. Ari Lennox, that's just one of the biggest ones I know is Ari Lennox. No, she's not gay, but she's a really good entertainer. Like, she's an amazing singer, but the media does not talk about her.
Yeah,
Therefore,
she's super underrated.
people really
Super
don't
underrated.
listen to her music.
Yeah.
Why? Because she's not out here doing anything that's such a
She's super
shock
chill.
factor.
Yeah,
Like,
she's
she's not
chill.
a problem. You know, she's not being problematic.
She just makes
She's
music.
not saying anything crazy on the internet.
Yeah.
She's not going on stage and being crazy. Therefore, no one talks about
Yeah.
her, so no one knows about her.
Yeah. She's not being sexually promiscuous.
Exactly. Like,
Her,
she's not.
her songs have sex appeal to them.
Mhm.
Obviously, she's a grown woman. She's going to talk about
Yeah.
that. She's grown. But, like, you know what I mean? But she's not actually doing that in her
Exactly.
real life.
Like,
you
she
know what I
doesn't
mean?
have to be on the streets saying, "Oh my God, I'm a hot girl," shit.
Yeah.
Just for her.
She's
for
saying
her
hot
music
girl in a
to
different
say
way.
it,
Yeah.
You know.
Well, like Chloe Bailey, you know, she was not hot like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But then everybody realized, oh, you got a fat butt, and then she became.
Mhm.
And she became famous.
Exactly.
Yeah, she didn't be. She was already famous, but
She was
became
famous from Disney
commercially
Channel, but now
Yeah.
she's famous and Hollywood famous.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's a different kind of famous.
because she knew she had to sell her sex.
Right. I have two questions. Well, you have two comments on here. One from Johnny Doe. A personal sexual preference should not be higher or greater than a race of people, ... And then Charge the Films, are all men/women created equal? What do you guys have to say on that? I mean, that's what y'all was
Just argued over
Man,
this.
I feel,
I'm not going back there. Please, guys,
No,
don't do this to me.
All right, y'all. So you're going to answer the first one and the second one.
What was the first one again?
A person's sexual preference should not be higher or greater than a race of people.
A person's
It's
sexual.
more like a statement than
Yeah.
a question, but
And
I agree with that.
rebuttal off of it.
Sexual preference should not be higher than a group of people. Yeah, I mean, of course.
Of course.
Like-
But at the end of the day, that's not what society is showing us, because there are plenty of opportunities that are given to people the minute that they come out that they said that they're gay, which is totally fine. And that's totally fine. But just like, where's the same energy for Black people? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's it.
Mhm.
That's all I gotta say.
There's homosexuals in the like that. You got like Frank Ocean, right? You
Yeah.
got, this dude who made "I'm Not Your Negro," James Baldwin. He's a homosexual. He's a homosexual. He's gay.
What's I'm Not Your Negro?
It's a book that he made. He was like a philosopher back during the time period of Malcolm X and like Martin Luther King, and he like studied all different creeds of movements during the Black community during this time period. Made a movie and a documentary called "I'm Not Your Negro."
Oh,
He
I'm
was
gonna
a
watch
gay man.
that. and
Yeah,
read
he was
that.
a gay man, but he doesn't subscribe to on the public platform. He keeps it to himself, and he's relatively a respectable, man. So like the whole thing is there's a way you can approach it without it being your whole personality.
Right.
And I can't stand that, bro.
Elijah, don't you start.
Okay, let me hold my. It's not that. It's just like it's the preaching ideology. Like,
Okay.
Like it's not like I just don't like people who your entire personality becomes
Your sexual
a
preference. Okay.
like I can't go around just being like, damn. And I hate when men do it when they're straight too. I hate when like, oh man, that girl's fine, man. I'm about to go have sex with her. I hate that ideology. It's superficial, it's shallow, and it shows you don't really have any substance. Because all you gotta talk about is what you like sexually. I hate that, bro.
Yeah.
Like let's talk about and it's not it's universal, but I just don't like that generally. Like please have a substance outside of who you are sexually or what you are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Real talk.
agree with that.
Yeah. All right. I think that's a good segue on to question 3. Okay. Is there a correlation between race and certain hairstyles that can become controversial?
Race and certain hairstyles?
It was so funny because it's so funny that you even brought that up before we even got on here, because I'm like, that's literally what we're about to talk about.
Oh, you talking about, yeah.
but that wasn't a
Here's an example. So if a white woman were to get like cornrows or a curly wig, besides, and then like versus a black woman who were to get like a bone straight 30-inch like bundle?
Right. I get what
Is
you're
there
saying.
controversy there? Like, I mean, obviously
Okay,
with the white women wearing
I
braids.
feel like with the controversy is the acceptance.
Okay.
Is that when I stepped outside my house with curly hair and I went to work with curly hair, it was always seen as unprofessional, especially depending on how I put it up or how I'm wearing it down.
Yeah.
Versus a white woman, she can literally just throw in some dry shampoo, brush her hair, go to work, and
my
it's
gosh.
always
This girl stop.
professional.
No, literally, this
it will always be professional.
No,
But
literally.
if I put my hair in a ponytail and I just left my baby hairs like that, it would be seen as frizzy and unkept, and therefore I'm not businesslike. I'm not professional. I'm not even, sometimes it's not even feminine. I will never forget another thing that I was told when I first moved to America was this white boy. He looked at me and he told me the hair on my head reminded him of his pubes.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
Jesus. Well, that's fun.
And like that goes to show you exactly how they view curly hair versus how they view straight hair, because the very hair on my head is what they're seeing on their genitalia.
Right.
That's what they're linking my hair to.
Okay, well, that's...
Versus a white woman's hair, it will never be linked to a guy saying, "Oh my God, your hair looks like my dick hair."
No,
like, you know, like they're not gonna say that.
But literally, to rebuttal off that, for white women, these hairstyles are a personal choice rooted in innate vanity that can be easily removed or washed away. Just like a beachy wave or a high ponytail, there is an immense privilege in choosing to wear black hairstyles when it's one's aesthetic, while also having the ability to opt out of the prejudice associated with these hairstyles in the instance when this aesthetic is not deemed as acceptable.
Right. Also, I mean, cool. So with that, like, you look at hairnets, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I hate hairnets.
Hairnets or bonnets?
No, hairnets.
Okay.
Cause I like, you know, I have to go to the hospital and they put the hair thing on your head. I hate that because society has designed hats and hair kempt products and everything around white structured hair. I hate that, bro.
Yeah.
Because just something as simple as a hairnet I cannot put on my head.
Yeah.
Because I have a big ass afro.
Yeah, you got a lot of hair.
Exactly.
You need something that's gonna stretch.
You know what I'm saying? And
I got a lot of hair. There's a lot of stuff that I can't fit because my hair is thick.
So we gotta condition ourselves to like get braids, like specially designed head things. You know what I'm saying? We gotta do things or even cut our hair off just to conform to societal norms when it comes to our hair. So even off of that alone, you know, it is a little bit. I can understand the conditioning of it being insulting to see a Kim Kardashian, who's a white woman, right? Well, Middle Eastern
She's
white woman.
She's
Armenian.
a white woman. That woman is white.
Armenian, right? Which is like Middle Eastern-y white. But anyways, the whole thing is...
Wait, is she?
Croatian, all that is like Ukrainian,
like Lebanese,
Turkish.
Okay.
They're white, but they...
Spicy white.
Yeah, they're
Spicy white.
They're like white with a little bit of tang to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But they still white.
They're still white. They still get privilege more than us.
You know, in their condition, you know, they could put in like I can understand the insult behind it. But then, you know, you look at it, right? And as a black person, you be like, what the hell? Why you wearing our hair? I don't get it. But you doing that with a blonde wig on. Like, it looks oxymoronic and contradictory. Like, to me, I just think that you cannot fight a fight with a white Jesus, you know what I'm saying, hanging from your necklace, talking about white supremacy is the devil. While you literally are embracing it with, you know what I'm saying.
Well, now you're bringing religion into this.
Well, I mean, no, I'm just not talking about the
I understood the point. I understood the point.
Yeah, like you cannot fight a fight when you saying, you know, blue is evil and you got an all blue outfit.
But I mean, it just comes down to
like hypocrisy, kind of,
though.
essentially.
It
sounds like a slippery slope of like hypocrisy. Like
it's a slippery slope. It's oxymoronic.
Yeah,
it's more oxymoronic.
It's a better way of putting it.
But I feel like it's not that oxymoronic because of how people react to it. Right. Like, remember when I want to say it was Zendaya when she wore locks, and that woman on national TV. On the news, literally said, her locks looks like it smells like marijuana. She literally said that. She said
Zendaya said that?
No, the white woman on news.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Said that Zendaya's locks looks like it would have smelled like marijuana.
And she's mixed.
But she would have never said that if a white woman was wearing locks.
She's mixed.
Yeah, but I'm just saying because Zendaya is already a black woman, this woman picked herself up and had the audacity to just assume that because Zendaya was wearing locks, it must have smelled like weed. When I know for a fact she probably would not have said that if it was a white woman wearing some bohemian ass locks.
Yeah, right.
You know, like she would those words would have never flown out her mouth. Exactly.
But look,
like,
listen,
the audacity would have not been there.
Literally, yeah. Black women are not granted this privilege and thus have endured a painful history of attempting to dismantle and erase their personal and culture identity associated with their natural hair. You know what I mean? And that's where it comes in with, like, the 30-inch bundle, bone straight, stiff wear kind of stigma. And even with the Gorilla Glue girl story, where it's just like, you know what I mean? Even, like, that story was just traumatic in itself because, like, me, I've always had my locks and I've never really had to, like, slick anything down or straighten my hair or perm anything or put it in braids, you know what I mean? But it's like, when you really think about it, it's more of like that mentality of just wanting your hair just to be so slicked down that you'll do anything and that you'll get like, she didn't even know it was super glue, but that's what I'm saying, to the point where you want your hair so straight that you get the strongest glue, not knowing that it's super glue, and then you're potentially ruining your hair. You know what I mean? Even more just to achieve that societal norm look of what a black woman's hair should look like or be upkept with. You know what I mean? And I always get weird looks. And I've learned, like, I'm glad we're moving into the transitional stage of, like, where people are, like, liking dreadlocks and stuff like that. But over the years, people used to make weird passive-aggressive microaggression comments about my hair all the time, and especially due to the fact that my mom and my sister are light-skinned. So they would look at them, then they would look at me, and they would just be so confused. And they would just be like, why do you have your locks? When are you going to take them out? Are they dirty? Who washes your hair? Do you wash your hair? Just, like, bombarded with questions about my hair, but yeah, just...
I remember my family pretty much reacted the same when my mom locked her hair, especially on my dad's
like your
side.
Hair's nappy, just all kinds of stuff, man.
On my dad's side, you know, my dad, he's like Chinese and everything but black.
Right.
And so my grandma and my dad, and they were all just like, locks? Like, you're gonna put locks in your head, you know, because they were absolutely appalled. And then, of course, you know, eventually they got over it because you can't force someone to change their hairstyle if they don't want to.
Right.
But I never really saw the problem in it. I always thought it was beautiful, and you know, it was very easy style to upkeep if you actually know what you're doing and you're attentive to it. Right. But it was just interesting to see how one side of the family was just so against it, while the other side is like, yeah.
But then also that you bring that up with, like, family members and stuff, and then sometimes it really do be your own people. You know what I mean? It be your own people, like Elijah, why you got your fro out? Why is your hair all crazy? You know what I mean? Like, why haven't you retwisted your hair today, Gabby? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And sometimes it be your friends, it be your own people sometimes.
It really is your own people, because I remember I had really long hair. My hair was like almost to my waist. And in high school, I always liked wearing my hair out curly. And every day my aunt would look at me and she'd be like, oh, you're going out with that bird's nest again. And she'd be like, oh, one day a bird is going to pitch in your hair and nest in it, thinking it's a bird's nest. Oh, my God. And, like, she would say that all the time. And eventually, like, you know, I would look at my hair and I'm like, gee, I kind of see what she's talking about, you know? And it wasn't until, like, I left for college when there was no one there to put me down about my hair or tell me how my hair should be looking on this day, you know, why it's even looking how it is looking right now, that I was like, hold on, they didn't have a problem with my hair. They had a problem with their hair because everyone was already telling
that
them.
onto
exactly.
You. They just couldn't figure out why you as a black person were growing such good hair out of your head.
And it's not even just that I was growing such good hair, but why was I so willing to embrace my hair? Why was I so willing to love something that they were told and conditioned to hate? Because growing up in Jamaica, I grew up in a time, because we're a third world country, so, like, literally when I left Jamaica, blackberries were popular. Like, that's how behind we were. So when I left, everyone was perming their hair, like, creaming the hell out of their hair. And so that's how my family thought your hair should be. If you're going to wear your hair down and you want it out,
perm it.
You should perm it. And so me wearing my hair out, they were just like, dude, that's so unkempt.
Literally,
that's so dirt. Literally,
they couldn't understand.
And every single time, they always had something to say, and I always had to remind myself that it's not me they have a problem with; it's themselves.
It's themselves.
Because they were conditioned to think this way, and at the end of the day, there's not much I can do about it. You know?
Yeah. What do you have to say, Elijah?
I agree 100%. Like, I'll be preaching to the choir. I'm ready for the next question.
There's only 3 questions of the day.
Oh, okay. Well, let me talk for sure. Well, I mean, what's that one girl who used to give gel products to people back in like the 40s? What's her name? The black girl.
Ooh.
She became the first black woman billionaire in America.
Mary J. Blige.
No, Mary J. Blige is a singer.
No, sorry.
From the 90s.
Thank you.
Madam
C.J.
Walker.
The one person who's not American.
Mary J. Blige. I just forgot the name.
I forgot the name too. Oh my gosh, Lord forgive me. I went to an all-black school and I forgot about.
That's like me saying something about Marcus Garvey. I know about Garvey.
Woo, learned about Black history and everything. I forgot who she was.
Madam C.J. Walker. Well, y'all gotta also understand.
Thank you.
In Jamaica, y'all taught real Black history.
Yeah.
We taught about presidents and white supremacy.
No, I went to a black school that taught me that stuff.
Yeah, but in Jamaica, I'm talking about everybody's taught.
But I learned about Madam C.J. Walker. Did I learn her? I feel like I learned
that's what I'm saying. The school that I went to was all black private school, and they taught us about African American history, science, and math. So that's just
in Jamaica, we just mostly focused a lot on like African history, like a lot of kings and queens, and like very deep in our ancestry. Like, ain't no white people gonna tell me where I came from, because they definitely made sure we know.
Yeah.
Mr. DG said, did she say Mary J. Blige?
Yeah,
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Madam C.J. Walker.
Oh, you talking about Mary J. Blige? She the first billionaire. Mm-hmm. I knew it. Thinking with my noggin, ain't that right? Thinking with my noggin.
C.J. Walker. Oh my gosh.
Cookies in the jar.
I know there was a J in there somewhere.
I knew it.
It's the J. It's the J.
Ooh, boy.
Who's that one dude from the 40s who I had a dream, LeBron James. That's what we're talking about.
Really? I thought it was Malcolm X. I'm playing.
Michael Jordan.
Get off.
It's not Michael Jackson?
Give me some on the black side. The kind of black side.
Y'all get off, okay?
But nah, that was just funny. We just joshing.
No, it was Rosa Parks for sure.
Oh, Lord, bro. Did you guys know Rosa Parks was indigenous? Yeah, she was indigenous. She wasn't black.
Are we joking or are we serious?
No,
I'm being super serious.
She was like Native
She was Native American.
She was Native American.
Really?
Yeah. That
Like
just
a
shows how
newfound
close.
fact.
Yep. That's just how close knit we are. Why y'all think y'all was called West Indies? West Indian.
West Indian.
Yeah. Yeah. That's known to like.
West Indian and East Indian.
Yeah. There's a reason behind that because y'all the same. But anyways, so going into that, yeah, black hair. Why I wanted to bring up Madam C.J. Walker was because during the time period of Madam C.J. Walker, in order for black women to get jobs and to be looked at as professional, they had to perm their hair. And with her creamery, it had a bunch of like chemicals that destroyed the hair. And so that created a trend all around America that conditioned black women to look at professionalism with permed hair. Madam C.J. Walker was the pioneer. And at the time, she meant well when she did it.
She did, you know what I mean? Yeah. But that was the trend back then.
Mm-hmm.
If your hair wasn't straight when you went into work, you weren't getting that job.
Exactly.
Okay?
And black men also conked their hair as well.
Yes, they did. Malcolm X, remember when he used to perm his hair?
Superfly?
He had his hat on with his feather after he got his perm. He was
Every
happy.
man. Look at the Temptations. So at that time period, we hated ourselves so much. We looked at professionalism as a survival tactic, utilizing white supremacy hair textures, white supremacy hair, all that light skin. That was very popular at that time.
Right.
Nowadays, we don't need to do that because Martin Luther King and Malcolm and a lot of these other people fought for us to hold certain privileges of being ourselves.
Right.
And so, but because we have been conditioned, because our grandmas and grandpas were alive during that time, they have taught our mamas that taught us, hey, y'all need to make sure y'all still look professional. That Madam C.J. Walker trauma is still there. You know what I'm saying? And we have to get out that ideology of wanting to feel like we have to perm our hair. You know what I'm saying?
I would say it's also not
even, we're moving into wigs now. Not so much of perm, but now we're moving into this obsession with wigs to the point where we're stealing them out of hair stores. That's far.
That's
guys.
still the illusion of the Madam C.J. Walker.
No, I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
There's a correlation there.
For
You know what I
sure.
mean?
Well,
Not
I would
hate
say
wigs.
it's not even just an
I hate wigs too.
ideology.
Don't get me started.
But when it comes to trauma, you guys also have to remember that trauma can be coded into your genetics.
Yeah,
Like,
they just recently found that out.
and it showed in so many studies in psychology that trauma can literally be coded into genetics. They did it with the rats, and they did it with the monkeys, and then they did it with us.
Yeah.
And
But
I feel
where you
like
have to
that's
step in
why it's going to take us a lot of conscious efforts to get rid of that genetic trauma, because you can't, like, yes, it's one thing to be aware that you have generational trauma that definitely could be in your genetic code, which I feel like is another reason why Black people have this aversion to curly hair, you know, why we feel like it's not enough. I feel like that's the problem. A lot of Black women feel like their curly hair is not enough. I've met so many Black women who are like, oh, when my hair reaches this length, or if my hair could just be this pattern, or if my hair could just look like
and then
this.
we also have to remember we are from Africa, where there is humidity and wet and just this. We're not meant for this American, United States cold, mountain, dry air stuff, okay? You have to build a routine for your hair type. Everybody's hair type is different. And that's what I even have to remind my clients too when I'm starting their locks. I'm like, look, my hair is thick. My hair can lock up within right now. If I like twist it right now, it's going to be locked tomorrow. But that's my hairstyle. You know what I mean? That's my texture. You have to remember that your texture is different from everybody else's, and that you have to build a routine and know that their environment that you're living in also has an effect on the hair that you have on your scalp.
And I feel like that a reason why a lot of Black people don't think that Black hair comes in a lot of different textures.
Or that they don't think that their hair is pretty, or they have to intermix with other races in order to get a prettier hair texture, which is absolutely nuts. If you go into the African continent,
each country, all these different Black people, they all have different texture at the end of the day. From the Egyptians all the way down to the South Africans, all the way down to the Nigerians, and the
Congolese.
Like, like
the Congolese people.
The Moors, like all of them, they all have different hair texture, especially when you look at the Egyptians. If you look at the Egyptians, they don't have exactly.
It's like the poofy down.
Like,
they got that Puerto Rican.
That whole
I do not have Puerto Rican hair. Puerto Rican, I would say, is more on the straighter side. I would say Ethiopian hair kind of sticks out more. It's more lion's mane. Puerto Rican hair is kind of more straight down.
They got that Mino Negro.
Yeah.
The Dominican joint. They got the
Stop. We are live.
I'm not getting canceled with
We are live.
I'm not getting canceled with him.
That wasn't even that bad. That wasn't even
Can
that
we beep
bad.
now?
Smidge.
They got that.
Beep.
They got
Just
that.
a sprinkle.
Yeah, the ear trends. Yeah, they got a certain type of hair texture for sure.
Yeah, it's like Ethiopian or Eritrean.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of
Eritrean.
The Eritrean.
Y'all are just on me today. Like, I don't be working 24/7. Like, I'm tired.
But yeah, I feel like a lot of it just comes from our ignorance of our roots and our people, you know? Like, I literally just had an argument the other day where someone was like, they were pretty much telling me why was it that when white people went to Africa, they were saying how they didn't find cities of golds like they found in South America with the Aztecs and the Mayans. And I'm like, but that's the thing, though. If you actually knew my African ancestry and you knew our history, you would know that we did actually have more cities of gold than you would have ever found in South America. From the Congolese to the Moors to the Egyptians, like Mansa Musa, like we literally had the richest man on earth in Africa.
With 400 million?
Yeah, true.
So it's because we don't know our history and we don't know our ancestry and where we come from that we have this whole ignorant thought that, oh, if only my hair could be like this other Black girl's hair, that my hair would be beautiful. Yeah. No,
or
all
I would
our
be
hair
considered
is beautiful.
the beauty standard.
Exactly, because if you looked at it, statistics shows that about 40 to 50% of Americans never left America. They don't even have passports.
Oh, yeah.
Why
I don't
is
have a
that?
passport. I
Why
can
is
vouch
that?
for that.
For a country that you can literally leave your country so easily, yet Americans refuse to leave their country. In Jamaica, you can't just pick up yourself and leave. You literally have to apply for a visa. You have to do an interview, and then if they don't think you're coming back, they reject you. They're like, nah, you're not coming back. You can't go. Yet in America, they will hand you that passport and be like, if you don't want to be here, leave. America will literally tell you to leave.
Yeah.
And yet, so many Americans choose ignorance. They choose not to leave their country, and they choose not to find their ancestry and not to understand their roots and where they come. And it's not just Black people.
Yeah.
It's all Americans. Because white people also came here and abandoned their ancestry, abandoned their cultures, and then they tell other immigrants, you need to do this in order to be American. But guess what? America has no culture now.
Yeah.
It has no
it's
flavor.
The big melting pot.
And it's just a melting pot of water and oil.
Yeah.
There's no seasoning. There's no food. There's no meats.
True.
There's no vegetables. It's just water and oil here.
We the oil.
Yeah, we are the oil.
Yeah.
We the oil.
We like, American Negroes make this country go. Like, we the influencers, we the salt of the earth. Like, I've been said that, though. Like, you look at the American Black man and woman, we the most influential people on the planet.
Yeah.
You have to admit that. Like, I mean, anybody who disagrees with it is just hating. Like, it's the fact.
I mean, okay, personally, I feel like each culture brought their own influences.
It's not a hateful thing. It's just a fact.
I'm not saying it's hateful.
All right, y'all. Y'all just gonna have to agree to disagree, but pull out your phones. Okay. We're gonna play a Kahoot game, and then it's going to be the end of the show, y'all. How y'all liking it so far? We got a couple comments. We got a LMAO, and then we got a you guys are funny.
Yeah. What's the funny part?
When y'all was on my head about the Rosa Parks and Mary J. And then we were talking about wigs.
I hate wigs.
Now go to your messages. Why are you on Snap?
I'm sorry.
All right, you too, Elijah. Where your phone at?
Where your phone at?
Oh.
I said get your phones out. All right, y'all.
Oh, are
so
we
the
playing?
link, yes, we are playing. We are also playing with the guests. The link is in the description, and you guys can also answer in the comments. I will be saying the questions, and you guys can play the Kahoot game. So just give us 1 second.
My phone's at 1%.
Why I gotta log in?
Well, then you two can play. Why is it telling you to do that? It should just let you play. Give me 1 second.
Technical difficulties.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
I didn't get it.
You didn't get it? Why is it telling you to log in? I don't like that.
It's a Kahoot. Can you tell me the number? I'll just pull it up.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay.
Kahoot.it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's the game pin, Chief?
All right.
Can I get a gift too?
We'll give gifts when we have the budget for gifts.
I'm a hater. You a hater.
What I do that was hateful?
You said you had hate in your heart.
Do you want to plug in your phone, Elijah?
I do. I hate white supremacy.
Okay.
Skills, gifts, talents, passions to move forward together to a more just and equitable society. Unity is creating allyship and recognition, freedom, space, and allocation of resources to any and everyone who has the mental capacity to obtain said resources. Meaning we must study, we must work, we must trust and believe in each other in order to move forward to that just society that we're looking for.
Boundaries. Boundaries are really essential so you're able to set respect for yourself and maintain respect from others.
Hey y'all, we're back. All right, so the code is 514378. Again, 514378, and it is also in the comments. 80. I thought it's 378. Okay. 514-3780. Is the Wi-Fi not working? Are you still not are you not connected to the Wi-Fi?
I'm definitely connected.
I'm not connected.
So maybe unconnected then.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
What is it?
514-3780. And the link should be in the description below of the video. And I'll also be asking the questions.
What do I want my name?
Also, if you like my sweater, go check out Brothers of Legacy. You can check them out on Instagram.
You hear that, people?
Damn, I should have worn my shirt.
Yeah,
Damn.
sponsor yourself. That's what I'm saying. This is the whole point of y'all slacking.
I got it.
I'm not slacking. Listen, Brothers of Legacy. Y'all can
Slacking.
see them.
And I am so late for class. All right, y'all. Y'all ready? Is that you with the fist in the fire and the lion? Okay. Okay. After show quiz. Dun, dun, dun.
What do we win?
Nothing.
Oh.
Bragging rights.
That's good enough for me.
There's no budget for prizes.
What are the statistics on mental health?
What are the statistics on mental health? Okay. 20%,
I don't understand this question.
45, 19, or 6.
What statistics?
What are the statistics? Like the statistic numbers. Like what is the percentage?
I don't understand. It's too
mental
general.
health? Like mental health for what?
Mental health in general. Mental
like
health
who's
overall.
doing well?
Mental
or
health.
who's doing bad?
Bad, girl. Mental health means bad.
Oh, damn. 6%.
Mental health means bad.
I didn't understand the question.
What was the answer? I didn't understand the question. That was too
is it-
general.
Is it 6%?
This is America's No Child Left Behind policy.
It's 19.86% of people who are suffering with mental health issues.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's only on paper. It's 99.
I'm pretty sure.
Everybody got a drug of choice here in America.
Yeah.
And that's how you know they're
True.
suffering.
And then who is this?
Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson.
I'm one.
This is low-key and old.
Hmm?
I'm one.
You won.
I'm one.
All right, next. Okay, it was Kylie Jenner. It's Kylie Jenner while she was getting the
She could have
surgery.
fooled me. I'm playing. I'm not a hater.
You're awful. Okay, what is the percentage of plastic surgery procedures?
You should have said what's gone wrong.
40%? Ooh, I should have asked that. Ooh, that would have been a better question. 56, 69, or 70?
I feel like it's... I'm not saying it. I
69?
don't want nobody to know my answer.
69.
Just in case I get it wrong.
Oh, God.
Damn, I didn't have enough choice.
What?
It was 69%.
I was about to click on that.
69% of people are out here getting plastic surgery.
And it's risen since like 2010.
Wow, you know what? This is
Yeah, that's
live.
what was
I'm
wrong.
not gonna say nothing. Your answer was wrong.
I didn't get to click on it.
Exactly.
I was going too fast.
At least I
All right,
clicked an
Ari is
answer.
in the winning round at the moment. All right, question 4. Who's this?
Rosa Parks.
Madam C. Mary J. Blige.
Here y'all
Really? I thought that was Ariana Grande.
You might have been right.
She's been pretty dark lately.
Oh my gosh, you guys suck.
I'm in one right now, right? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm in one.
No, I'm in one.
No, he's in one.
Ah!
Oh God, y'all are so aggressive on this table.
Make sure you don't hate.
I'm not even touching the table. It's him.
All right,
He's
last-
on knees.
All right, last question. What are the statistics of stress in the U.S.?
85%.
65, 50, 77, 85.
How is it wrong? Oh.
Yeah, you're wrong.
You know what, Gabby?
There's no third place winner because we had no third place.
Woo!
Cut.
Flips table.
All right, y'all. Like, beep. We'll be back.
Oh, he sees me tackle him.
All right,
You can only
y'all.
be
That
one
is
winner.
the end of
Good
the
game.
show. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I am your host, Gabrielle Hollowell with Get Your Mind Right. Have a nice day. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to get your mind right. Peace. All right, we're done.